Order for Bank of Ghana on the finance minister Omubu Ejumaden pa o Ghana hasi 10 or more year or Ghana yes see amena okasa ni economy ni grow by 5.3%. Order for we sanji share we nyina ho am no ye a Bank of Ghana any finance minister no collaborations then oni adwem pa ene omututu pa na chese ama see amena okasa ni economy no etumi grow by 5.3%. Bank of Ghana any finance minister forcing right under the leadership and presidency of John Dramani Mahama no Omubu Ejumaden pa o Ghana or for my call na yankwaje sansem we nyina nchirem Ghanatube ni embra tisia.
Ghana's economy grew by some 5.3% for the first quarter of this year. That's according to data released by the Ghana Statistical Service in Accra. The growth rate recorded for the first 3 months of the year is far higher than the little over 4% posted in the same period in 2024. The strong growth posted according to the Ghana Statistical Service was influenced by strong pickup in activities in the agri sector. Here's government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu.
Nominal GDP for 2025 quarter 1 was 375.2 billion Ghana cedis. And this increased from the 2024 quarter 1 nominal GDP of 290.7 billion Ghana cedis. Non-oil nominal GDP, which is nominal GDP excluding oil and gas, was 364.3 billion Ghana cedis, up from 278.3 billion Ghana cedis in 2024 of quarter 1. Real GDP for 2025 quarter 1, like I said, this will be the GDP after we have taken the effect of inflation away, and that was 53.5 billion Ghana cedis, and this increased from the 2024 quarter 1 real GDP of 50.8 billion Ghana cedis. I must say that the 2025 quarter 1 real GDP represents a growth rate of 5.3%, up from 4.9% in the same period in 2024, despite the ongoing trade wars and the global uncertainty. So in simple language, the real GDP for quarter 1 of 2025 grew by 5.3%. If you strip off oil, non-oil real GDP for quarter 1 2025 was 51.4 billion, up from 48.2 billion. And in terms of its growth rates, it grew by 6.8% for the first quarter of 2025.
Our head of finance at Melbourne Capital, Nelson Kujo-Kwabeji, joins me on Zoom to react to these latest estimates.
Order for question kese ambese bi say nyina ne say John Dramani Mahama ene na ban ene ne mpanyifo a wapom finance minister Bank of Ghana governor no omomodin bo anagisia na ama economy no enyi na anase aban dada no nchehye pa order to ho na gisia John Dramani Mahama ortuas order for so unim sansem wonyina no yi afa ne nyina fewu kim comment section wona making kan ne nyina ma o che say John Dramani Mahama the finance minister at forcing only governor of the Bank of Ghana isia ma Omubu Ejumaden pa o Ghana isia na me no kase ne say the economy has grown by 5.3% order for wait chese John Dramani ka onyanya 1 year empoyo John Dramani Mahama betina kunya so onyanya 1 year empoyo ni 6 months mu no no na see an economy need to grow by 5.3% there. Just imagine just 1 year order for John Dramani Mahama ejuma power ye ntino through the Bank of Ghana governor no ene the finance minister Omubu Ejumaden pa o Ghana order for my call na yentu ansem no so ne mra sia Ghanatube so.
Good afternoon to you. So, I mean, what does 5.3% growth in Q1 signal in terms of our economic trajectory for the rest of this year?
Yeah, thank you very much, Darrell, for having me, and good afternoon. Well, the 5.3 real GDP growth rate clearly signals that the economy is actually responding to the gains that we have made as a country. You realize that inflation has moderated to 18.4%. We currently have a stable exchange rate, within the system. We also have a strong reserve, which is supporting the economy. Government-owned fiscal consolidation measures are also working. So clearly, The growth rate of 5.3% just tells us that the economy is actually responding positively to the gains that we have made. The IMF actually projected the Ghana's economy to grow by 4.4% by end of year. The government-owned budgeted, or targeted growth rate is also 4.0% by end of year. And so the Q1 or the first quarter real GDP growth rate of 5.3% far outweigh what the target is for the end of year. So I think generally the economy is responding positively to the gains that we have made, and that has actually translated into the 5.3% GDP growth rate.
Yeah, and we've seen a remarkable rebound in the Greek sector. The statistical service attributing much of the good to a pickup in activities in that sector. How sustainable is this in the medium to long term?
Please come again.
So I was asking how sustainable this comeback is for the Greek sector in the medium to long term.
All right. Well, I think going forward, if you look at government-owned position regarding the agri sector, they have made an...
All right, appears to be a bit of a distraction there. We'll try.
Order for what in some course, yes, Ghana has the economy grew by 5.3%. Just a baby and another Danko Kufuado, any Dr. Mahmoud Baumia or Mudisi, John Dramani Mahama by year or year an appointment, or ye the finance minister, or ye Bank of Ghana governor, added to Yesika Semano Notisia and O say ye John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, under the ticket of the NDC, and will grow economy by 5.3%. As you see, Ameno Kasan, Unya 1 year Poyo, to see an affair as a witcher 1.5 half. After I said we try half for 6 months, 1 year we try 6 months. After I said John Dramani Mahama we half of the year 6 months. And I see Ampono economy need to grow by 5.3%. Where you in Sheshepa John Dramani Mahama order to acquire through the Bank of Ghana governor no, and then the finance minister to force him. Send a bear sika seminar di nyina benya brand. See Amano Kasano John Dramani Mahama buy and che be 6 months. Wama sidi nu etumi appreciate against the dollar. Chese ebi see down. Aye nana do Danko Akufo-Addo any MPP for no over 8 years no ntumi anya sadi. John Dramani Mahama ba in 6 months utumi ama aye sidi nu etumi appreciate against the dollar. Order for when ye nyama aye John Dramani Mahama all year ewo sana memu we a ti see anu ye dia ma no order for chega na for say obetumi aye djuma no ntumi gusu ugbo djuma no yi obi a ma no mo piafo order for mo manko na ye nkoji nsem no ntu aso emra ti see ewo Ghanatube so.
And we connect with Nelson Kudjo-Kwabeji, who is head of finance at Melbourne Capital, as we continue to make sense of these figures released by the Ghana Statistical Service, the Q1 GDP estimates. I also wanted to point out real quick that except for industries, other sectors experience growth. It makes you wonder what is happening with industry. We'll come back to that discussion when we're able to establish connection with Nelson Kudjo-Kwabeji. But I want to turn to the aviation sector. Some interesting news from there right now. So the Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari-Nipe, has appealed to domestic airline operators to reduce air transport fares in the wake of the good run by the city. He urged the operators to follow the example of road transport operators who reduced their fares by 15%. Mr. Nipe was speaking at a stakeholders meeting organized by the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority in Accra.
Order for when a good news kesi a medini nyina brel ewo Ghanatube concerning niyama ekoso ewo John Dramani Mahama na memu the Bank of Ghana governor not just say any finance minister at force ni juma pa omo Ghana ha say ni sisi ana my economy need to grow by 5.3%. Just a good news pan na the Ghana for and che bia just say within 6 months no see the news to me appreciate against the dollar amount be brain na kase John Dramani Mahama bonu hu modern power bo ejuma power Ghana has your for the see ameno kasano yasanso atete transport fare so just say when you know in 6 months under John Dramani Mahama leadership just say NDC for no omo bayankasa omo buy say be restore all the economy loopholes na MPP for joining in NDC for my imagine say omo ba besisi ani nyina na chese omo magana for me na wo ye ho atoyodofo we ene ensema breaking news ekoso e wo John Dramani Mahama na memu amso bedi ni nyina bre e wo Ghanatube godofo mamure mfise ba like na ma subscribe na ma share na ma hit notification bell no so ma se na be ya abrini abibia drop your content a wo na me na wo kase wonya ne tempa na wa hwelu tia me godofo aha ena me de mu nyina besi e wo Ghanatube makra mu nyina me da mu nyina se